In 2012, the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision published a document that would change how every major bank in the world thinks about data. It was called BCBS 239, and 11 years later, most banks are still struggling to comply with it. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what BCBS 239 is, why it matters, the 14 principles inside it, and why the real problem isn't regulation, it's data governance. Let's go back to 2008, the global financial crisis. When it hit, regulators asked banks a simple question: how much risk do you actually have right now across your entire organization? The answer was terrifying. Banks couldn't tell them. Not because the data didn't exist, but because it was siloed across hundreds of systems in different formats with no single source of truth. Risk managers were manually pulling data from spreadsheets at 2 a.m. trying to build reports for the board. That is exactly the problem BCBS 239 was designed to fix. Its full name is Principles for Effective Risk Data Aggregation and Risk Reporting, and it applies to every globally systemically important bank, what regulators call a GSIB, and increasingly to domestic systemically important banks as well. BCBS 239 has 14 principles organized into 4 groups. Let me walk you through each one in plain language. Group 1, Governance and Infrastructure. This is the foundation. Principle 1 says banks must have a strong data governance framework, clear ownership of data, defined roles, and board-level accountability. Principle 2 focuses on data architecture and IT infrastructure. Your systems must be capable of producing accurate risk data even during stress periods. Think of a financial crisis. Your systems need to work harder, not fail. Group 2, Risk Data Aggregation Capabilities. This is where most banks struggle. Principles 3 through 6 cover accuracy, completeness, timeliness, and adaptability. Accuracy means your risk data must be correct and reconciled to accounting sources. Completeness means capturing all material risk data, no blind spots. Timeliness means producing risk reports within hours, not days. And adaptability means you can slice the data by business line, geography, asset class, whatever the regulator asks for. Group 3, Risk Reporting Practices. Principles 7 through 11 deal with what actually goes to senior management and regulators. Reports must be accurate, comprehensive, clear, and frequent. Crucially, Principle 11 says banks must clearly distinguish between estimates, assumptions, and actual data in every report. No more hiding uncertainty inside a single number. Group 4, Supervisory Review. Principles 12 through 14 are for regulators. They define how supervisors should assess compliance, apply corrective measures, and coordinate across borders for global banks. If you're working in a bank's risk or data function, these principles directly affect how regulators examine your work. Let me make this concrete. Imagine a bank has a large exposure to a corporate client. Let's call it Acme Corp. That exposure exists across 3 products: a loan in the retail banking system, a bond in the treasury system, and a derivative in the capital market system. 3 different platforms, 3 different data formats, 3 different teams. Under BCBS 239, the bank must be able to aggregate its total exposure to Acme Corp across all 3 systems accurately and within hours, not days. And it must be able to produce that number even if one of those systems goes down during a crisis. This sounds simple. In practice, it requires a golden source of client data, a unique counterparty identifier used consistently across all systems, and a data lineage trail that shows exactly where every number came from. That is the data governance problem at the heart of BCBS 239. BCBS 239 is ultimately a data governance regulation in disguise. Banks that have invested in strong data governance, clear ownership, good metadata, a single source of truth, find compliance straightforward. Banks that haven't are still patching it together with spreadsheets. In the next video, we'll be diving deep into the fundamentals of data governance, the very foundation that makes BCBS 239 compliance possible. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this video helped you, drop a comment with one question you have about data governance. I read everyone. And don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Till then, stay curious and keep learning, because in the industry, the learning never stops.